put the light a little
And
bit
we're
away.
live. So welcome back, guys.
Thank you. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Jeremy, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Well done, my friend.
Let's do a shot for Jeremy. We'll do a
I
shot
didn't
for
bring anything to drink. I'm so hungover from last night.
I'm about to say shit.
You think you might
Hey,
have
the
something
hair of the
around there?
dog, my friend.
There
The
you
hair
go, man.
of the
Well,
dog.
here's to you, bro.
Cheers, fellas. Cheers.
I tell you what, I'll take an
Dog.
extra.
Thank you. That's what I need right there.
I know, right? Take some of that mick thistle or some of that herbs again to reset you up.
Yeah, y'all did a remarkable job. I mean, just making the show itself, and then I mean, what y'all had to do was pretty impressive to me because I would have been stumped right at the beginning.
It was different. I mean, it was one of those things that, I mean, I don't know how much heads up you guys got on what we were making, but I mean, I knew a couple days beforehand, so you don't really get a lot of time to really test anything or anything else. And I'd never made it before. It was just one of those things that I've made rum, but I've never made shot specifically. So I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. I knew what it was supposed to taste like. I just tried to emulate that.
Well, obviously you done right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk more about this sugar. Was it kind of like vanilla, or was this just like
pure cane juice?
Cane juice.
Cane juice.
Had it been refined at all?
No. It was raw. Matter of fact, it was about to explode the next day.
I was going to say,
it was on its way to exploding as we were using it. Matter of fact, because it was so warm in that studio.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with juice is it starts to spontaneously ferment almost immediately.
Right.
So, I mean, they brought it to us ice cold. It might have been frozen actually when they
probably
brought it to us.
That's probably the only way they kept it from distilling already. Yeah.
Right.
Or I mean, fermenting.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. I mean, he's right. The next day, some of those jugs, anything we had left over, they were starting to blow up.
Bro. Yeah. We got to gas them.
Start burping these things.
No.
They're going to start blowing on us.
In the very beginning, y'all had to compete on who could get the most sugar out of your cane.
Hey, Justin, how are you, buddy?
What's up,
Justin?
That part, the sugarcane juicing part, was an interesting because, and Tiger, you can tell me, I don't know how much of an advantage it actually was, but I think they really just wanted to show how it was done. I don't know that there was really, I think they just wanted to show how it was done and what it takes to do it. And I will say this, they cut a lot of that out because first of all,
oh my God,
3 minutes, they didn't show that. And we were all huffing and puffing after that thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think that's a good thing they didn't show a lot of that.
Oh, you're right. That handle comes off.
That juice then, or
that handle comes right off, not attached, nothing. I didn't realize it the first time I grabbed it. It came right off my hand. So at my last turn, I just flung it on the floor.
Yeah, that the advantage of the juice, it was an idea. It was whoever won got the advantage. So I won that one. So it was like, okay, what can I do? Well, let's use the thumper, and that's kind of where I was going to put it anyway. And I was also going to use it as a yeast starter. I wanted to see how quick this yeast would take off, and it took off.
I think they showed a little bit of that.
Yeah, and then it was done probably in 24 hours because it was bubbling fast. So that sugar was pure. It loved it, and then
I remember watching the show. How amazed Josh was at how quickly that fermented and stuff, and he was like, "No way, it's done!" And boom.
So they were
16 hours.
It was done for 24 hours,
and we had a lot. So I don't, the amount of yeast that we put in, I'm not used to that amount of mash. Yeah. So I do a technical thing. I do certain grams per gallon kind of thing. Right. But I didn't have no measuring, so I was just off the head like, what is a teaspoon in my so I had to kind of sprinkle and look like, okay, well, let me sprinkle and look and figure what the hell, more is better. So it's kind of I think I think I put enough in it. Like I didn't want to do under because I didn't want to, and I didn't want to do more because it would still be working off. So it was kind of one of those you have to figure it out.
And all your mashes worked off in time, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were all fermenting it.
Yeah, it worked out.
Mash came out perfect.
Yeah, it did.
How's that sugarcane juice taste? Just raw. Super sweet.
Make some Kool-Aid out of it, I guess.
It was sweet, but not poignantly sweet like you would think.
Right.
It was earthy
but
sweet,
it's
right?
still heavily sweet, you know.
So it wasn't like a sap, you know, like
No.
you know,
So
it's
it's
just
a lot
basically
looser.
water. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of viscosity to it.
Yeah. And actually, when I checked the bricks, I did some raw juice here recently since we did it on the show, I wanted to do it here.
Yeah,
I checked the bricks on just straight juice. It was like 16 bricks. So I don't know if that's specific gravity, but it's not super. It's like it works out to about 8 or 9%.
Right.
I think the specific gravity of the juice we had was 1.08 because I kind of saw it.
So
on
it's
the
8 or
jug.
9, yeah, 8 or 9.
It was on the jug, so.
Oh, there.
Oh yeah, it was on the jug. Oh shit, that's right.
Look
Okay.
at you reading.
Oh, that's perfect.
Look at reading everything, God dog it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That makes sense. So we was on point. It was the perfect place to be.
That's what I kind of assumed it would be.
Yeah.
I added a little bit of water to it just to liquefy it a little bit because it was kind of thick. Because I think mostly because it was still very cold. That was the only, and honestly, that's the only reason. Like for me, and they didn't really show this either. When we were mashing in, I heated it up just enough to get the cold off of it so that it would start. I didn't really heat it up to cook it or anything. I got it up to enough temperature to knock the cold off, threw the yeast in, and I was done.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeast
I
going
did the
dormant the
opposite.
second you fill them in.
Yeah, I heat the water up, and I poured half the juice in the barrel, and I just ran the water up to about 50, 60, kind of a good temperature, and I poured it in and stirred it just to bring it down, and it worked that way for me. And I took some of that, threw it in the jar with the ones I won to make a yeast starter, and that actually when I was using that as to figure out when to put the yeast in. So I was watching it, and it's like, oh, it's ready to go now. And that's kind of when I start putting my yeast in as I saw the starter. Then I dumped the starter in there. So it was, that's kind of when I did that.
Didn't
you show all of that?
Didn't it bubble over the top and all
that?
Or?
Well, no, you looked at it, it was just bubbling up. Like it did about this much. It bubbled in the jar in about an hour, within that hour. So it was already going. So it was just like, okay, I don't need to do too much. It's ready to go. So the temperature was right because it's a high temperature yeast too. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, I brought mine up to like 140, 145. I just wanted to kill any natural yeast that was in there. And then I let it cool off and threw my yeast right in.
Yeah. Then another thing
prep for the sugar.
And plus I wanted to kill off any other stuff that was sitting in there already, probably at a certain temperature, kind of just.
Yeah, I didn't want anything funky taken over.
Yeah. That was another reason why I brought up to 160 a little bit.
Very cool.
South Wales, UK. You watching?
Hey, what's happening?
That's even further away than Tiga.
Yeah, that sure is. Welcome.
So at the beginning of the show, did y'all like sum each other up and think, well, I think he's gonna be my toughest opponent? Or, did you?
Nah, for me, I enjoyed meeting these guys, and luckily we had a good. We had a lot of time to wait in between things we do. And so we got a chance to talk and get to know where we're from and kind of compare what you do. And so it is a competition. That's true.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But it felt like we were just having fun doing stuff at the same time. And it was like, well, whoever wins this, that's cool. And it's like, okay, even though, we all want to win, obviously, that's the key. But it was more comfortable to me, in my point of view. That wasn't like trying to be a dog out there trying to, do stuff to try to up one. I was just like, having fun, but I'm gonna do my best. Right. But I was having fun doing that and watching them and seeing what they were doing and what they was bringing. Of course you have to have the Kobe Bryant mentality or the Michael Jordan mentality. You got to like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. Okay, we got to figure out something a little different. I was gonna do that, man. I have to change it. So it's like internally, competition. But externally, it was brotherhood.
It definitely, we would talk about what we're doing, help each other out. I mean, it wasn't anything where
Daniel.
There's absolutely no
no sabotage.
Tomfoolery going on.
Yeah, tomfoolery, exactly.
We
Right.
were all straight with one another. We all got along great. I mean, I'm glad they're in my life today, to be honest
Me
with
too.
you.
Yeah. My
We
new brothers.
Really good stand-up man. I have to say, when Jeremy turned around and said, "I'm just running it straight," I was like, "Man, you got balls of steel."
Yes, he did, right? That scared the shit out of me. Actually, I was like, "Oh fuck, he's a professional." That's right.
So honestly, the reason I took that approach was I was scrambling trying to find, because I'd had cachaça before, but it had been quite a while, and I just wanted to see what it tasted like. So I was running around to different liquor stores trying to find some, which, by the way, it wasn't that easy. And I started doing research and stuff, and I couldn't find any flavored cachaça anywhere. I know, I'm sure it exists, but I just couldn't find any. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't seem to me like this stuff is ever done that way. So I figured I even asked the producers like beforehand. I was like, do I have to flavor it? Can I just run it straight? And they're like, oh, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, I was concerned myself. I wasn't real sure if it was going to be a good move or a bad move, because it definitely could have just thrown the whole thing off. That's for sure.
Yeah, Josh was impressed with it. So
yeah, he was impressed. Yeah, it took him back to Brazil. So yeah.
Well, and that was the cool thing, is we didn't get to see any of that. You know, we all saw it the first time, which is pretty cool. So, and they were very. What I liked about it was they were very complimentary of everybody. I mean, I tried all you guys' stuff, and I thought it was all good. It's a tough job because we're all doing similar things. You know, you guys flavored it different, obviously, but at the same time, I mean, it's a tough job for them to judge it, especially when it's something like cachaça that I guarantee you, Tickle and Tim, those guys aren't drinking that. They don't know what it's supposed to taste like.
Right.
So.
What was that, Jeremy?
I still haven't tried a bottle of labeled cachaça. All I know is from what I made and what you guys made. That's it. So I have no clue what it's really supposed to taste like. I think we got it right.
Thanks.
I definitely think we got it right, especially that first round.
Dave Ray's. It's my present. Oh my God, really?
What was that one wood that you used to age with?
Ambrosia? Was it
Ambriana?
Ambriana, yeah.
So that was another thing I did. So again, I was trying to keep it pretty traditional through the whole thing. And I knew just from the research and stuff that I had done that the Ambriana is a Brazilian wood that they use traditionally to make
cachaça,
or aged cachaça with. So I knew 3 or 4 different types that they normally use. And that was the one that stuck out in my head. So as soon as I saw it, I went and grabbed that. But I also wanted to throw some American oak in there because everybody in the world uses American oak. And I know what it's supposed to taste like. So I wanted to do some of that as well to mix it in. So, I mean, most of these places, Scotch, all these guys are using American oak. So I knew what that was going to turn out like. I just wanted to throw some Brazilian woods in there too. So what I did on the blending part was I took 3 jars, and I put 2 different types of oak and then the Ambriana in there, and I just blended at the end to taste the way I wanted it. So I didn't put it all in one jar, just mix it all in. I just put it in 3 different jars, let it sit, and then the next day I came in and blended it the way we wanted.
Yeah, I tried a spiced rum with Ambriana in it that Sandman made. It was different. It's definitely a unique wood. It's definitely has a different flavor to it.
Yeah, you definitely get some it actually, I can see it working well with a spiced rum because you get like that nutmeg and cinnamon.
Yeah, cinnamon. Yeah,
actually from that wood you get a lot of.
It's got some spice to it.
Yeah.
So pulled out a lot of those warm flavors, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna give me some of that and try it. Where do you find it at?
So I found some. It's not cheap.
No, it's not.
I can't remember where the heck I got some, but I just got some recently, and it was not even a 2-pound bag. Was almost $100. I mean, it was.
Yeah. Talk to Phil, Billy, and Wes. Wes can probably give you a line on where he got his.
I bought a bag before I went out there, so I already had some. And I was researching, I was researching the ingredients, and luckily out here we have 4 different bottles of cachaça, or 3 different companies basically. So I was able to buy. I said not cheap, so I bought 3 of them. I bought the clear and the aged, and I bought another company that had an aged and a nice wicker kind of covering. So it was kind of cool. So I was able to taste all 3, and I was looking. Also, I studied what do you mix it with. What is the mixed drinks? And Caprina, I think I said it right. Caparina, I think it is.
Caparina, yes.
It tastes, and I was reading the ingredients. It was similar to a mojito to me. So I was like, oh well, that's when I started getting the idea of, okay, that's cool. But what if I want to change it? Because they were saying, American, was it American style rum or cachaça for American style? So I said mojito, and that was kind of the idea of making a mojito in a straight clear glass without actually mixing it. Yeah. That was the idea. And then when I put the oak aged chips and the Amberana, it did bring out. It was already hot, so when it was hot, plus that, oh yeah, cinnamon, vanilla, spices was shooting out pretty strong. Yeah.
Right. Now, is that what you figured?
I actually walked into the show.
You got that right, Daniel.
I walked in the show with 0 plan. I flew by the seat of my pants. I did the cachaça once, manually pounded that cane, got the juice. I used some of it to try a few cocktails. I was basically just going to muddle some blueberry, basil, and cucumber into it, and then strain it out over ice. That was the plan, but obviously every good plan goes to garbage when you get punched in the face.
Exactly. Yep.
So they have the Amberana on Amazon.
It was fun. And it's kind of there's a place that you can buy it. If I could send you, because I still have all my order links.
Yeah.
I always keep my order links, so I know to go back.
I bought it from like one of the barrel companies out there that
it's a barrel company, right?
Yeah. I got it. And get a whole barrel made from it. And actually, honestly, that would have been cheaper almost.
Right. I think you're right. I think it was pretty expensive. I forgot how many pounds I got.
My wife likes doing rum, so I was thinking, give her something different to try out. And so,
So Tiga, out of those three bottles that you bought, yours tastes better than all of them, huh?
Right, but you know what? I found like when I tasted Jeremy's and I tasted Vinny's, and I already tasted cachaça, and I'm like, wow, we're damn fucking close. Excuse my language, but we were real close. And I thought what Vinny did and I did, Jeremy, there was difference. What was kind of cool that you can move it in 3 different places. Because I tasted the traditional and aged, so I'm like, oh okay. So I'm like, I like where everybody was going. And these are 3 actually interesting marketing ideas. So I'm like, that's a good thing. Unfortunately, only one person won out of this, but that was great.
Well, so Vinny, I didn't taste Vinny's, the one that you went all the way, or your flavored run. I didn't taste that one because you waited all the way to the last second to turn it in. I
was having issues.
Well, I tasted one of your
jars
before halfway through, and it was really good. I don't know which one it was or what it was, but I was really surprised that how well the flavor came through on that one. But
it started out really well, and then as soon as that sugar cane started kicking in, actually it was dehydrated cane sugar is what it was, but it started bringing in that funk again. And no matter what I did, I even went Distiller's carbon to try to take it out, but I took every second to try to get it as close. I tell you what, if I had another 20 minutes, I might have been able to get it right. But I was fighting the weeds from probably my second jar on. And the first jar was like 160. I couldn't even touch it. As soon as I put water in it, it was hazing because it was full of heads.
What do you think was causing that off taste?
I had added some more sugarcane, but dehydrated to the batch when I was running it a second time. And I think it just brought out more funk than the sweet. I was trying to get more sweetness. I had a lot of green. I had a lot of grass going around. I figured if I could get a little sweetness in the background, it would complement the cocktail. But kind of shot me in the foot. I think it was the amounts because I'm not used to such a large still. And 5 gallons was my big still back then. So, but
and they gave you something that nobody's ever worked with. You know, none of you ever done before. You know, that's the curveball. You know, it's you know, you go in there and do a traditional 3 grain or something. It's like, you know, okay, anybody can do that. You know, but yeah, this is something nobody's other than maybe Josh in an episode from a while back had worked with. Well, so did it didn't have any molasses, you know, flavor, none of that carried.
No.
It was
very green and grassy. For sure. There were a lot of earthy tones.
Earthy, rum earthy. Yeah, you're right.
And you know, I was trying to get away from that dry finish, but man, that sugarcane, that stuff ate that yeast so well. It was
it was dry. Yeah. I think that's the reason why I put some of the certain mint and certain things in it, because it was a dry, you know, I wanted to give it up a little. Yeah, soften it up and give it a little open and like lighten it up a little bit. So you're like, and it's like,
yeah. And it's not like you could watch the ferment with a hydrometer and stop it, you know, and like heat it up, pasteurize it, or throw some potassium, you know, sorbate in there.
Yeah, sorbate in there, right, to stop it.
Well, and that, right, we don't have any instruments or anything to use, and that's what I'm doing. So, you know, and I know Tiga and these guys, we all use instruments of some kind. Right. So, that, you know, that's kind of tough too, is, you know, kind of flying by the seat of your pants, trying to figure out how much and what. And
that's why when I use my instruments, I taste too, you know, and I kind of, you know, do both, and kind of that way, you know, if I break one, you know, I'm still able to carry on. Amazon can deliver me another one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was distilling probably for about a year before I started buying hydrometers and temperature gauges and stuff like that.
Right.
I get it. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I had to get it all. I mean, I had to be able to repeat stuff. So I have to. I started that way.
Yeah, and I come from the beer, and beer to have all those instruments and you know, and ingredients and cleansers and clean and barrels and buckets and siphons.
Yeah.
So he had to have all that, and just to make the beer even taste like a beer after a while. Yeah.
All right, Dave. We'll catch you tomorrow, buddy.
All right. Oh yeah, UK. All right, man.
Yeah. What's a hydrometer? Yeah. Bennett doesn't know what that is.
Come on, you know he's acting funny. Oh, y'all fat.
Ask Peaches. She probably help you.
That's who taught Bennett everything he knows was Peaches.
Yeah, That's Bane. Bane will help you, bro.
Yeah, that was good.
I will say, everybody on that show, from producers to sound guys to everybody involved to getting that on the air, 100% stand-up people. Yeah, they stood behind us. They helped us out. They kept us in the right direction and made sure nobody panicked. Not that anybody in this group was, but you know, I saw a little
deer in the headlights or what?
Yeah.
One or two, you know, I overheard one or two things.
Oh.
Well, I can think of worse episodes to be facing. You know, at least you got something sweet and something kind of easy. You know, you didn't have to, you know, try to do a.
That was my biggest fear walking in. Sugarcane juice. I mean, there's not a lot to mash in with.
Right. I mean,
everybody's going to be on the same footing.
Everybody's going to taste the same, you know, at the first round, sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not what happened, though. There were 3 different styles.
Well, and that's the thing about
in that first round.
Everybody's going to do it slightly different. So everybody's going to cut slightly different, their heads, hearts, and tails and all that. And, you know, even though we started with the exact same setups, the exact same sugarcane, they all tasted a little different. And it's just a matter of how you ran the still and where you made your cuts. And
And also the yeast setup. Remember, there was a discussion that we all brought our own different kind of yeast to create a certain flavor. And you know me on the show, you know, I believe yeast is where I believe that most of the, you know, you get those flavors from. If we all had the same product, the same water, the same ingredients, But if we change the yeast and we mix it, we use different kind of whatever it is, it's going to adjust it just a tad, maybe more, maybe less. That's
I learned
just my
last
theory.
week not even bother asking you what yeast you use. I know you're secretive about that.
Well,
oh yeah, I always learn. Plus, I learned from them on the show over the years. Everybody thinks they use one particular yeast. No, it's not.
Right.
It's always a blend. And then sometimes what I taught Vinny about was telling about using reconcentrated yeast, where I use yeast from other runs that I keep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I have yeast for over a year that's sitting there, and I come use it. It works. I just take care of them. It's like kids. You take care of them, like having fish or something.
Burp them every once in a while.
I have a whole refrigerator. You got to burp them. You got to change their water. You got to make sure you got food.
Yeah.
I got a whole refrigerator sitting here. The refrigerator sitting here with at least 20 different variations of yeast cultures that I have made over the years that just sitting there ready to go. And I just keep it. I notate everything what I made, when it came from, and I just do that. So I may be a mad scientist, but I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna work out someday for something.
Yeah, that's the one thing I picked up from the show. I mean, I've been running about 5 years. I never wrote a single thing down until I came back in June. And now I started keeping track. The only issue is I got sour mashes. I couldn't tell you how many runs, how many generations.
Sour mashes are beautiful.
I've been running these things for a few years now.
Yeah, you tell us you have one like in the 20-something or so generations.
You can't go wrong with sour mash.
Probably a little more.
I think we were talking last week. Maybe we was thinking 20s, maybe 30s.
Yeah.
I stopped at.
I didn't even know that was something you should keep track of.
No, you can. I stopped at 7, and I used the spent mash, and I actually used some of the spent yeast that I kept, and put it in the next one with some fresh yeast, and it just kept getting. It stayed the same in one way, but it grew in some other flavors. I said, "Damn!" I said, "This is what it is."
You're reusing the grain, right? You're reusing some of that grain.
I'm using the liquid from the grain, and then I freshen it up with new grain, and fresh water, and then but a lot of people didn't use. I was actually using the original yeast as well. I was save some of the yeast, and a lot of people not use that in sour mash. I don't think they do that. They just put a fresh batch of yeast. I would use the old yeast from the last one. And then when I get that one, I'll keep him. I'll use him. So there's always a generation of yeast.
Back set as well.
Back set, and then also the yeast. That's from that same, like part of it. Not all of it, but just a part of it. So it was always a generation I kept, will move forward, and it was a little bit of new. And once that's done, I take that generation, move it to the next.
Yeah.
My very first sour mash, I didn't save it. I just said, sour mash? Okay. So I took the grains, strained them, threw them in a bucket for 3 days, and then threw them in my mash with some fresh grain and sugar. And that was my very first sour mash.
So what I did with not using the grains from the back, like just using the back set, I would do like a beer. Beer has a wash, and you wash it. So I would wash it a couple of times. Yeah, sparge it. Thank you. I would do that for a couple of times. Sparge it or sparge it? Sparge. Thank you, guys. So I would use that, and I'll just take the water and not the actual grains.
Right.
And use it as a set for the next. So I wouldn't have to use that grain. Then I'll just use a fresh, malted grain with exactly what I used before.
Right.
I find the back set works fine for me. I can keep it as long as
everybody does a little bit.
pH is so low, as long as you keep it airtight.
Oh, it's low. Oh my God, yeah. So you have to worry about the pH. Yeah, it's already.
Yeah, I try to add like 5 or 10% fresh grains each new generation to keep that cared for, because a lot of times, and I've seen this with a lot of other people have noticed, like if you don't supplement and you just add sugar and water every time, by about the 5th or 6th generation, you're starting to lose a little bit of your flavor. It's starting
by then you probably those grains have broken down to nothing.
Yeah. Right. And so, supplement it like 10% each time. Just take a, set amount out and cook up that same set amount and dump it back in there and add your sugar, your back set, and just pH and go, and everybody has a different way of doing sour mash. It's cool, pretty cool.
And that's the fun part about it. That's the
last year I've been strictly back set. Back set.
It's very, very economical. Yeah, it's very economical.
When I do my sour mash, it's my first generation, I scrape off the spent corn on top, add my back set and water, and running from there, and then I start saving the yeast from the run before, like you were talking about, Tiga, reintroducing it. Seems to work out all right.
Right.
Yeah, I love the consistency you get from a sour mash.
Yeah, that's definitely what I've learned. Yeah.
I use it for my bourbon because my bourbon recipe's perfect. I'd hate to see it swing. But I also do my corn whiskey with it too sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends on my mood. I have two. I have one that's sugar based and one that's no sugar. And I use one for bourbon, one for my whiskey.
Got a question for you guys.
Oh, what's the best experience?
Who
wants to take that first?
So
one thing I always tell people, one question I always get is, how do you determine heads, hearts, and tails? People are always, especially just starting out, super concerned about heads, especially. One thing I always tell people to do is get a bunch of jars, run the entire run all the way out, number each jar, and then set them all out. Once you're done, set them all out, and go to that middle jar and just dip your finger in there and try it. See what it tastes like. And then go to the ones on the end. Dip your finger in there, see what it tastes like. Because good chance whatever's right in the middle is going to be where you want to be, and then kind of work your way out, and you'll see the transitions. You do that a bunch of times, and all of a sudden you'll know exactly where it is. You won't need to worry about it anymore. But just starting out, I think that's a good way to kind of figure out where your heads, hearts, and tails are. But also it also helps to, helps you blend it back later on. You can take those jars, ones you want, blend them back, and now you've got exactly what you're looking for. That's one of the things I did starting out 10 years ago or whatever it was, just running jars over and over and over again. I did that for quite a while, actually. And now it's just a point where you can as soon as I walk through the door. But
and something to add to that is I did the same thing. And when you're tasting your jars, work towards your tails first, because it seems to me like when you get into that acetone, it's really hard to get that taste out of your mouth, and it's hard to sample after that. So I always work towards my tails and figure out where those are starting, and then work back towards the heads. So
that's good advice. I would say take your time. Don't be in a rush. When you get that still running, sit back and let it do its thing. Don't look at your watch. Don't go, oh man, another hour, no. Sit there, let it do its thing. Clear your calendar for the day and just let the magic happen. And that'll make you a better distiller, just that by itself.
That's true. A lot of new distillers especially just rush it. They just feel like part of it's watching shows like this, right? They say you have 4 hours. I mean, that's actually pretty quick for one of these kind of things. I mean,
right.
We left a lot of alcohol in those stills.
I only loaded the still halfway because I knew I didn't have that much time. So of that 20 gallons, I put 10 in. And then,
that makes a difference. You're right.
Because there's so much time, and you gotta, it makes it sound like you should be able to get it done in 4 hours, but set that thing low and slow and just let it run. And, you'll get a good separation that way. And if you try to rush it, all those alcohols will all come out together, and it's going to taste terrible.
Yeah. My biggest thing is if you ever have any doubts or anything, find somebody to ask a question versus just winging it and saying, well, I'll do this.
Right.
It prevents you from getting hurt, anybody else get hurt. From mashing it all the way up to your distillation. If you're not sure, ask a question from somebody.
And plus, there's a lot of information out there on the web, YouTube, that I learned some of this before I got into it. After I went from beer to wine, that people helped me out hands-on. They went online to go to distilling. There's a lot of information, the science about it. So I was going towards the science because I didn't want to blow up nothing. I didn't want to mess up nothing. I didn't want to lose anything. It was just one of those things where this is where, going to school when you're young, like, this makes sense. Like all the things we learned as kids and, the algebras and these classes, like, now it's coming in handy when I want to make something. So, do your due diligence by going and do some research, learning the science, some of the science. It's not difficult. It's just basic information you can write down, download, paper. I have a book this thick of information. I will I'm old school. I print out. I know you can do it electronically now, but I got a folder that's like literally this 2-inch thick of just constant information, people, distillers, a lot of things I learned about the distilling game and also the marketing and business behind it that I didn't know, that kind of broke my heart a little bit, but it made me understand this is the business. So, I was learning a lot of things before I got there to kind of make me understand, do I really want to do this? And how far do I want to go? Is this a hobby or is it a profession? So you got to find out where you are. It's fun, but you want to be safe and you don't want to do something that will put you in trouble at the same time.
Or hurt somebody.
Or hurt somebody, especially your loved ones or your house or wherever you own something. You really don't want to do that. And there's some things that can happen easily by not paying attention. Walking away, sitting there like, oh, I got it running. You go do something else, or you drinking while you're doing it. You got those things you just got to be careful with, because you can make real serious mistakes if you don't have the water running, the vapors are coming out, you have a flame near. Watch every fucking thing. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Watch everything.
You're fine.
My mama look at me. What you doing, cussing on no damn TV?
Oh,
You call this
fine.
TV. It's a podcast. We cuss all day.
Yeah.
I want to put a shout out to Richard Landry. Thank you, bro. He hit me up. He loved the show. Yeah.
Awesome.
We got some people that was really cool. Richard, Josh,
Craig are both awesome.
Tim.
Yep.
Oh my God, Bruiser, my boy. The one thing I tell people, if you can get on the show, the part of me saying it's a badge, because it is. It's like when you go with the Masters. If the winner, you get the green jacket, but if you play in it, you get the vote. Or just
I thought it was gold jacket.
No, I mean the green jacket was the Masters, so I'm like, the gold jacket is no, you're right. It's green or gold jacket, right? But I'm saying like it's a badge. So just getting in the game puts you a part of a place where people look at you like, well, you got into this level and you got to that level, even though you don't have to win. That's cool. You want to, but you're looked to as being one of the few that's got here and was able to compete.
Aura of knowledge.
Yeah, especially you coming from where, some people are novice, some people are very serious, some people are professionals, different backgrounds. It's it lets you know, especially when you hear, because we haven't had the opportunity to get that information, like, what are they saying? Because out for the past, how many months has been, I've been wanting to know what the heck was they saying. I know that my glass, the mixed glass that I saw was way smaller than most. So I was like, okay, they must have looked the mixed streak. So I was trying to figure out, like, that was like, so I didn't know. So it's like, okay. So it kind of made me understand, but it teaches you some things and humbles you, and it makes you, okay, I'm on the right track. So where we're going to go next. It's kind of,
Guys, remember when we first met at the show? What did I tell you? We're all winners. Just the fact that we're walking through this wall, we're all winners. No matter what happens from this point on, you're a winner, I'm a winner, we're all winners.
I mean, they have like over 10,000 applicants. So, y'all
that's wild.
You were chosen over 10,000 or 16,000 people.
And that's the thing that blows your mind when you realize you hear that. Like, really?
You won the Master Distiller Lotto just being able to show up, and be a part of it, really. Right. And to add to what you were saying earlier, a lot of people get on the internet and they think, I read it on the internet, it has to be true. So check your sources. There's as much bad information out there that there is good, maybe more bad than good.
If it ever sounds the way, if it ever sounds like, well, I'm not sure this guy's talking bullshit or what, ask somebody else, get multiple answers.
Right.
And that's good. That's a good advice right there. That's how you check information.
And that's why we have these groups is primarily just to help out the newbies, and keep it safe for them, and keep the hobby real for them. That way they won't get, discouraged, after their first run, they scorch or, they didn't have a high ABV, or there's always something that's, it's going to ruin that first batch. And a lot of times they'll get discouraged. Sometimes they'll have equipment failures and get mad, and they bought the cheap, beverage still that everybody else started with. And the gaskets, they tighten it up too much and it's leaking. They're getting mad and their proof's coming out low. And it's like, forget it. It tastes bad. The proof's low. things steaming out the top. It's dangerous. I'm done. So we try to prevent some of that.
I will say on the show was the first time I used gaskets and flanges and stuff. I've always tasted. I've come up with 3 or 4 different styles. Finally, I found something I really like. Little mixture of corn and flour works real well.
So you like as far as stick-to-itiveness or eat after it's done?
Yeah, I like the idea that it's easy to clean.
Eat some of those steel biscuits, right?
People go for flour or something like that, and they'll bake on like a hard bread. You'll sit there for a month trying to chisel it off the side.
Chisel that off, yeah.
So oatmeal for me, I never really had. It was always hit or miss. I would find a lot of leaks in the middle of the run and stuff. So eventually I came up with a mixture of cornmeal and AP flour. And it's good for about 6 hours without any issues. So
that's all you need.
Yeah, pretty much. And it cleans 1, 2, 3. Pops right off like it don't belong there.
It's a little easier to get off the dry paste.
Yeah, it comes right out. And it won't affect the flavor. You
can't
drop it in either.
A little bit of butter, is it still edible?
A little bit of butter. A little bit of bread.
Unleavened bread.
On there.
Unleavened bread.
I've only had one paste stuff, but I didn't mind it, but I sure prefer the tri-clamp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised they haven't done that on the show, really. Just after they get done pasting it, form out some biscuits and just cook them on top of the steel, just have a little snack while they're cooking, they'll probably do that now.
I've heated, I have to say, I have heated 1 or 2 lunches on top of my cap.
Yep.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Or keep your coffee warm, sitting it up there.
Oh yeah, right. Get some eggs and bacons. Where you got going?
Yeah. I used to run asphalt paver, and I'd wrap a raw steak in tin foil, season all up. Take a shovel full of hot asphalt, put it down, put the steak on top of it, and then another pad of asphalt on top of that. First thing in the morning. By the time lunchtime rolled around, it was perfect.
Oh, wow.
Everybody else eating cold lunch, I'm over here eating steak.
That's something else.
That's pretty good.
There's a will, there's a way.
Let's see. Integrated vibration is spent over 100 hours at the same forms. Okay.
Definitely time to move up from the air steel. Those are fun. Yeah. But it's over 100 hours. They're a lot tougher to try to make cuts out of. Air steel is once you get it.
Which is
condensed
good way
type.
to make
That's what I started with. I started with air steel. Yeah, that was the little white one, the tabletop, and I was not satisfied for the output, obviously.
Right.
You make a lot. That's just in general. You can make a lot to get a little. So that's the whole point. It's like, what are you trying to do? Well, 5 gallons is great, but you're still making a lot to get a little. So, 16, 20 is a good mark. 20 gallon gives you a decent amount, but you still got to make a lot to get a 10 to 15 gallon barrel, So
I tell all the beginners, start at least 10. At least
so
10.
The problem with all that is you can buy all those in between, and you got them sitting right around your place. You probably got the one you want, but you probably would have spent all that money on that one.
Right.
So skip all them little ones and go for the big one.
That's right.
And just let it roll. All you gotta do is just take the math. Either you multiply it. If you 5, you got 20. Do 4 times whatever that you do. That's what you do. And if it works, it works. You trial and error. Just don't mess yourself up. Make sure everything's sealed, safety. If you got a fire extinguisher around, something, do all that. But my advice is you're gonna be stuck with a 5 gallon, 8 gallon, a 10 gallon, a 16, and then you get your 20 copper. Yeah. That's me. So it's kind of like shit. I don't know what to do.
That's the normal progression. Yeah.
So that's true. That 2 gallons.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I think I was distilling every day. Every day. I was either mashing or cooking. Just trying to keep up with my own consumption. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I could have a mash and distill school if I want to do all these damn things I got here. But I mean,
I don't think I put more than probably $700 in all my stills.
Right.
You know, all three of them.
I topped you 5 times.
The tower.
You multiply that by 5, and then there you talking to me.
Yeah. Well, I put a lot more hours in though.
Yeah. No, hours. Yeah. Oh my God.
There's 2-3 days in some of those stills.
Yeah. That the hours is that's another thing people understand. There are a lot of man hours, and I'm talking about either standing or sitting, because you have to monitor, and you just can't walk away. You have to make sure your temperature. Yeah. You know, you got to kind of just be there. You know, if you got to go to the bathroom, come back. But you got to make sure you're within the area, because I had a couple of times I could have made bad mistakes, and I didn't run my water. You know, I was waiting for the heads to pop, and I had it closed, but I had it not running the water. And I didn't realize that, you know, I have a tabletop, you know, which you can do. I'm not a tabletop, but a stovetop, right? Then I have the electric one, and then you have the burner, outdoors, whatever. So the stovetop can run maybe faster because it's smaller. It's 3 gallons, 5 gallons.
Right.
And the problem is timing the time when it becomes the heads. And I walked away, had to go to the bathroom. I'll come back. The heads were shooting out streams of this gas. And I'm like, oh, Lord, there's a flame over there. Yeah. So I had to hurry up and turn all the water on to cut it down. Mind you, most of it came out, but it could have been a problem. So, you know, be mindful of that. That's just my safety thing about you learn from your mistakes, just move forward. But luckily, nothing happened, thank God. And you know, so yeah, you know, I got better from that.
Talk about multiple stills, and you know, just running right to that 20 and being done with it. But I do think you need like a 5 or a 3 gallon if you want to do spirit runs and stuff. You don't want to be dropping a gallon of spirit, you know, maybe 2 gallons of liquid in a 20-30 gallon still.
Right.
Yeah. You know, so you need something a little smaller when you're doing those spirit runs. You really want to, you know, after your stripping run, and you want to throw some flavor in.
Oh yeah, well,
it's always better to have something a little smaller to work with.
So that's the 3 to 5 became either my double or my spirit. So I will run it 16 or more. Then I'll take whatever I get from that, and I'll rerun it in the 3 or the 5. Yeah, and I have the bubbler, you know, the what's names in the 3.
I saw that on the show. That's
and I can still have. I can also transfer it into the 5. So you're able to run the plates. So I can run that either as a vodka, you know, or a gin, if I want to rerun it, or if I want. And I had a copper 5. So the copper 5 will be my rerun. So I can rerun it, and I can add something somewhere in there. So yeah, you can always use the small ones for that. They're great for, like I said, reruns and flavoring or whatever else you want to add to it.
Speaking of stills on the show, do you think the still you ended up with either hindered you or helped you with your run?
Well, I would say mine's helped me, but obviously I didn't win, but it still helped me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Okay, you know, on the show you were the still pick you ended up with. Do you think it hindered you in your run, or did it help you?
To be honest, I thought I was getting a thumper all along until I saw what we saw. So yeah, it kind of hindered me a little bit and had me change my game up a bit, but didn't take away from my liquor or anything like that. It was just like I said, that was just me and my proportions.
But you still had like the gin basket.
Yeah, that shot time.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
I gotta make this louder. I'm having a hard time hearing you guys now.
Jeremy, what you saying? I didn't hear you.
I got the still I wanted. I wanted I didn't want the thumper. I didn't want any of that. I would have taken either Vinny's or the one I had. I wouldn't have taken the thumper. So I was.
I brought a whole salad to stick in that thumper.
Yeah, you did.
I was gonna make all the rabbits jealous. I tell my wife I'm finally taking my vegetables.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Liebig condensers versus shotguns and worms?
I like the shotgun because it's quick and convenient, but you go through a lot of water.
Yeah.
So you got to have a good water supply. Like I'll use an air conditioner to keep my water cool in a 20-gallon bucket.
Yeah,
So,
I think the shotguns are a little more efficient than the Liebigs. You know, I think they do a little better job.
Yeah.
Of course, the worm I think is the best. You know, if you got the room, you got the ability, you got flake stand and everything that you can run a worm, I definitely would run a worm for sure. But between a Liebig and a shotgun, I kind of prefer a shotgun for its efficiency.
Yeah.
But you know, Liebigs are fine, but you got to really run them at a pretty high rate and at a little bit cooler because they're not quite as efficient. You know.
yeah,
Definitely.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
I can hear you.
on my reciprocating tower, I put a
All
shot.
right, we can still hear you too, man.
Oh, let me turn this off because I might be doing something.
I was gonna say, we've heard
Look at that
people.
damn mute button.
What was that swirling noise?
We've
I
heard
know,
people
right?
going to the bathroom before, man. I'll mute you.
Yeah, I will not make that mistake. That's for sure.
I got
Yeah,
you.
but you're right. A worm, you could definitely get a smoother liquor from a worm. Easier, a lot easier, without without a lot of attention. As long as you keep your cooling water down.
Right, and you can generally, if you have a pretty good reservoir, you can pay less attention to the coolant and the water in a big flake versus a Liebig that's being
Yeah.
pumped
Well,
through.
I have two supplies. In the winter, I got a 30,000-gallon pool,
yeah,
which is great. But in the summer, that does me no good. In the summer, I got a 20-gallon drum I use with an air conditioner, just
right.
water.
So you got a hillbilly chiller too, huh?
Oh yeah.
Those are awesome. I love them.
You know, here in the city, all my water is metered and counted and everything else. So,
As one of our other brothers say, just some redneckery, making that chiller, huh?
Oh yeah. No, everything I like to do is the way they do it out in the woods. Right. Even though I have all the conveniences of home, I burn my own wood, I crush my own coal, I harvest my own oak. I grind my own grains. I mean, I want to get dirty. I want to handle it. I want to be part of it. Anybody can make liquor. It's another thing to, I want to say take pride, but everybody takes pride in what they do. But to do it in an old school fashion is a labor of love. There you go. That sounds good. Okay.
I like it.
Well, that's the way I got started doing it. Back then you were stuck with bread yeast, pretty much cornmeal and sugar. They're doing a lot of malted grains. You good luck finding malted barley in Eastern Kentucky in the 70s. Not happening.
Yeah, that's all I have here is malted. I couldn't get regular barley if I wanted. I'd have to drive. You Kentucky, I guess.
You can even find barley in Eastern Kentucky. Back then.
Still you can't.
Yeah, it's tough now. You want to look on Amazon or go to a brew store and overpay, but it's tough finding good. I've sourced all my grains. I've got guys that got the wheat and guys that have the corn and everything, but and even rye, but barley. Finding somebody that has barley is it's like pulling teeth. It's not easy. Locally.
Luckily enough, I'm close enough to like West Virginia where I can run right over to C&H Holding and the shit from them.
Well, I guess, being where I'm at now, there is a lot of barley, but most of the people, it's already spoken for. They grow it for the big distilleries, and it's all, they don't deal with any small timers like me.
Yeah, no, we got a handful of distilleries out on my side of the fence, but nothing like you guys deal with. Absolutely nothing. When I was down in Tennessee, that's all we did. Was one distillery to another. Hey, there's a brewery. No, the distillery's right next door.
Yeah. Mark Morgan, I need a bell to ring.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy.
Daniel called shots right after that.
I'm not that.
He would be fancy like Jeremy, really did.
Jeremy, you got one of those jars with your pretty little face on it. You can show everybody.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man. You
Hey, I want one. I want both of them. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hold some of that for us. That was nice. I like how you did that.
Oh, that's a good size fermenter.
This is actually I actually kept from the show. Believe it or not.
Awesome.
This is the actual drink, and I actually realized I had to temper it a little bit. There it go. Now you can taste the flavor. Not so damn hot. Yeah, it was good though. It was really nice.
Speaking of hot,
look at that. Look at that handsome lad, huh?
That guy.
Terrible.
I use
awesome.
IBC.
Very cool, Jeremy. Man. Very cool,
all right,
bro.
Clint.
Well.
Oh, you're right. 300 gallon total.
So speaking of hot, tell us about the lights.
It was hot as shit. I'm sorry to say. I'm the biggest guy out the whole. I'm bigger than both of them, god dog. And you know what I'm bad about the editing? They didn't edit me sweating like I was running somewhere. Have you noticed when you see me? I had a thing around my neck. Yep. Now I bought that at one of the sporting good places because it's one of those things that you wipe your sweat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, Vincent, the first part you didn't see, but you saw the second part. I said, I'm gonna have that around my neck because I was sweating. It was at least 100, maybe less than 100, maybe 90 some degrees with all that lights constantly on you. Now, I might be exaggerating, but it felt like that.
Yeah, when those stills are running and stuff, it got hot.
And then it got hot.
I got nothing to catch it, so it was just running down.
Yeah, just drifts off the ear.
I don't know much either. I was there. Tiger wore a hat. He knew.
Yeah, I had a hat all the time.
I think
the email. We didn't get that one, Jeremy.
I think the worst one I sweat on there to date has got to be Panhead.
Panhead.
I think I saw a picture of Bennett. He was sweating bullets too. I saw a little still photo of Bennett, man, and I mean he was just wet.
Yeah, thank goodness I wore those under shirts that actually gets dry when you wet. It's dry, so you won't see the armpit thing. Right. So I made sure I had something that underneath me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to catch something because I know I'm gonna give up a lot of liquid. So, I literally lost about 10 pounds at the end of that show. I'm just saying. And I didn't run.
So everybody, so you got a detox on the show as well a little bit.
Oh shit, yeah.
Our little staging.
That was my sauna.
Stairs so we had an unconditioned warehouse. We're upstairs, hot as hell there. No windows, no AC, no nothing. So yeah, it was hot.
And see,
a lot of people didn't know it's the fan,
They were trying
to noise. I guess they don't want the noise of the fan.
There was not noise of the camera. But Jeremy and Vinny knew I came in. I flew in. I caught the flu when I flew in. So I had the flu for 4 days. And I'm talking about sweating already. I'm on the plane. And I was masked up. People looking at me weird. I got to North Carolina. People like, what's wrong with you? I was trying to keep you all from being sick. I was sneezing in my thing. So when I got there, I was but I brought a lot of stuff to get it out. And the the time we were shooting the first 2 days, I was just I was pretty messed up.
It'll drain you.
Oh sure. Man, and I just put it through. But I got over it. But it was I see my face looking dry. What's wet. It was interesting, man. It was
what a blast, though, man.
It was a blast. All in all,
on set with you guys, man. I think it took a week for the cramp in my stomach to go away.
Oh yeah, right. Just being and hanging out with everybody later in the downtime was a fun thing. Yeah, you're right about that, Daniel.
Yeah, I saw the pic.
It's okay, but yeah, we hung out with some great people, other contestants, and. And then we was tasting stuff, it was kind of fun. It was what I thought it should have been. And I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. And it was a vacation for me, believe it or not,
Yeah.
Basically.
That was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Having been there though, there's some of those other episodes I can't wait to see because they were doing stuff, man. They
were doing some interesting things, man. And so I can't wait to see them and comment as well.
Yep. Definitely.
I think one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was sitting there and having these guys taste our liquor. For me personally, the only people who ever tried my liquor, except for a few guys in Tennessee in January, were just family and friends. And they're all, oh, yeah, it's good. Oh, it's great. It's this, it's that. You never really have a clue.
Yeah, that's true.
When I stepped on that show, I knew I belonged there. Absolutely. Right. when Digger and them turned around and Tim pulled me aside later and we talked about it, he's like, man, you're where you need to be. So that kind of stepped me up.
Well, Vinny, get Stan and I a sample out, and we'll give you a good review, or do a review.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you want to run, any of y'all.
Yeah. Send me.
Absolutely. I'd be honored.
You got my.
Yeah,
send me information. I'll send you something.
Oh, definitely, brother. Yes, we've done it. We've done it before.
Okay, Dan, you're right about that. 11 days, huh? You beat us by one.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh my God, it was fun. I mean, it was beautiful too. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
It was absolutely.
Like I said, I'm from California. I haven't been out there since I was young because I have family in Arkansas and the Panhandle of Florida, and Virginia and all over there. But just to see
out west.
Yeah, and just to see the grass and the open fields, the greenery, the animals, and just the rivers, and
mountains,
it was just.
We were up hiking in the mountains, my wife and I.
Beautiful,
oh
man.
My God, gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's funny, once you get around like, I don't know, around 3,000, maybe a little higher, 3,300. It's always raining. Every day we went up there, it was raining.
Yeah.
The Blue Ridge Mountains, man.
Yeah, it's like rainforest. Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I've seen everything green. I've been out in the desert in California and Nevada and all that.
Right.
It's beautiful, like the painted rocks and a lot of that.
Right. Oh yeah, right.
But if you look at it, everything's like dead. It's like dried up and dead. And if it's not, it's wants to kill you. It's thorns.
There it is.
Venom or something, it's like it's some harsh environment, and then you get to something so green and alive with water and trees.
Definitely.
This time of year over here in these mountains, it's just so ugly. I mean,
because a lot of rain or moisture.
No leaves on the trees yet.
Ugly because there's nothing there.
Oh, that's right. Because
winter
right.
Kind of like West Coast mountains in the summer.
Yeah.
Here in the winter, I mean. I think.
Yeah, you're right.
I live in California up by the mountains, and I thought them were pretty till I moved down south. And tell you what, these
I did too, Daniel. Yeah.
Day drinking at the pool.
We had a great time, man.
So Bennett was there when you guys were, right?
Beth and Daniel, man, they're great. Let's say hello to you guys.
Yeah, Bennett was there when we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Trying to look at my list of my friends.
Another highlight for me was being able to talk to people who knew what they were talking about.
Right.
You sure about that?
Everything I've ever done was cash and carry, quiet. Hey, you want to come over? So to sit down and see like what a wide field of people that are interested in this really like reached my heart.
It's very diverse. I mean, when I first started in the 70s, nobody did it except, for a living. And, that was pretty much it. It wasn't much of a hobby. You either did it for a living, did it because you couldn't afford alcohol. You did it because you wanted to sell alcohol. But it wasn't like a hobby so much back then. And it wasn't something that you talked about. And it wasn't something that a lot of people did. And then now you look at it, there's a lot of doctors, lawyers, businessmen, and all accountants, all walks of life doing it. It's not just us hillbillies doing it anymore. There's a lot of different walks of life in the trade, and I find that refreshing too.
Who's Paul?
No, leave it.
You're all great. Oh, fuck you, Paul. Really?
All right, who's Paul?
You know what? I do have Paul's number, but I should text him right now.
So we can get him on here.
So Paul's Paul's cool. I ain't gonna lie. He was the dude that was everywhere doing a lot of. He was wearing hats. He would wear other hats, and he's a young guy.
He was our contact.
He was our contact. He was a lazy-on, whatever you call it, whatever.
Oh, layout.
Well, you got the lazy part right. Anyway, no, he was on top of things.
Well, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you agree, Jerry.
Constantly cutting up with him. He would forget, for whatever reason, he would always forget about me. He would text everybody else, forget about me. Like, I'm sure they were writing off the show before I even got started. I'm
you
like,
kept saying it.
You know, that
like,
cost me $100 to make that happen.
Yeah.
You kept saying that.
Talk with him recently. He's not with Miguel anymore. He's I think he's right now.
Yeah, Lisa, he will when a show comes on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say shout out to one of the people that was there for me, Sarah Reeves. She was the driver that picked me up from the airport, and and actually drew me to the airport after it was over with. And beautiful young lady, man. She was from there, from North Carolina, from Asheville. She was like, this is my town, and and they kind of something happened, but I won't get into all that. But I put a shout out to her because she worked hard, and it was just, and she was funny as hell. Because she would talk, and she was telling all kind of interesting things. So I enjoyed the conversation, and I talk a lot, so I had to listen a lot because I met people that was just as good as I. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to, and I had a good time listening to everybody and just enjoying. So I keep names, their phone numbers, and say hello, and let them know I'm thinking about it if I can. I'm there for you if you need me.
Yeah,
that's real brotherhood. You gotta
right.
gotta walk the walk and talk the talk,
Yeah, well, I'm thinking maybe we should try to get some people on from behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
wonder how hard it'd be to get some staff on here. That'd be interesting. Maybe we'll do that off season or something. Get some of the people that work there.
I told Richard I'm on here, so he knows.
Yeah, Harley was another one. She was the
Harley, yeah,
awesome.
Awesome.
She's not.
Oh my gosh, she's really good. Yeah, really.
She
wow.
Actually right after we started or stopped filming 4th of July. She was down here visiting her boyfriend, and she drove past the distillery. She came in, hung out for a while. Super nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Brought her boyfriend out for a while. Good stuff.
So y'all were out there filming in July?
No,
June.
Yeah, in the May, June, right.
So it wasn't too hot, probably 80s.
It was a good
enough
Southern Florida style warm.
Except on the inside, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, inside was nice. Yeah, but the staff was great, man. The sound crew, the grips, especially the sound crew. The one that used to make us the Cuban, what do you call it?
The Cuban
coffee. The Cuban coffee. That was my boy, man.
Yep.
I must have missed out on the coffee.
Oh, I used to make it every morning, man. We had the shots. Everybody get a shot. And I was like, yeah. Oh yeah. George. Yep.
Dude, it was awesome.
That's him. Yeah, that's matter of fact, that's his name. I think George. Yeah.
George.
We would 85-90 every day outside. I know, right? Yeah. Daniel got a good ass memory. Got dog it.
He was there for a while.
I think Peaches is sitting there feeding him answers.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, probably.
No, that's cool. Yeah,
we look forward to getting Bennett on here, but we got to find out when his episode's going to be. He's still not sure yet. We're hoping maybe the season finale, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were saying that
they take a break and then come back in the summer.
Ah,
they don't know yet. That's too bad.
Yeah, I think they take an intermission in the season.
Well, I know next week we got Jason with the Mohawk.
Yeah.
Katie and Nate will both be on.
Episode 5.
We got 3 more episodes, I think. Is that correct?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I mean, I was going to join the Discovery and watch some of these episodes, but you can see only to episode or season 6. You have to wait to the end of the damn season to catch all the episodes. So it's like, what's the purpose? I'm not going to
I know.
Watch last.
Reggie sent me a timeline. I'm not sure you guys got it, but it showed what they were sending, what was going to happen up until a certain point, and I think they had it all the way to the end of February. That's all they had.
Right.
I don't think they went past. They didn't go to March yet. So I don't.
Here
it is.
The Moonshiners show just had the mid-season, didn't they? Or right now having a mid-season break? Or
no, the Moonshiners go all the way to 25th. Yeah, 25th, and then it doesn't say anything. So
mid-season is okay.
Yeah, so he gave me the all of February. That was it. He didn't nothing after February hasn't popped up yet.
Yeah, I got to find out who's coming on after Jason.
So what was the other one?
April.
April.
Yeah.
April.
Hey, April. Hey, April. Hey, peeps. I like that. Yeah. So last, what I see is 25th. So that's 3 more.
Yeah, but
they probably do a break or something that's familiar.
Yeah, it's like a mid-season.
What I noticed they'll bring back some of the guys from Moonshiner to do a competition thing,
right?
And then they
like
start
last
with
week.
Yeah, then they start with a no group of people that have never done something. So because I think Bruiser did a show and he has his that episode hasn't aired either. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he hasn't done that yet.
Kelly did one.
And Kelly, Kelly, So those things are still probably in that process of we're gonna put it here and put these guys there and then put that there, and because you want continuity, you want people to stay within it. You want Moonshines to because these are 2 different episodes. I know one thing I do know, they know I know, is about filming, studio, and marketing, and the whole point of getting ratings. You got to make sure you keep one show going. You have your cash cow, but you may have a dog. You may have something that's kind of lagging. So what I noticed, they always keep it together in 1-2 hour. When you go to your guide, you never can find it separate because they're trying to make sure whoever loves the Moonshiner, which is a great amount of people. I think it's 13 million, if I'm not mistaken, that up to a highest point. I could be wrong, and that the highest they had it, but that's a lot of people that have watching just the Moonshiners. They want to keep those guys going and watching the Master Distiller because you can do that, and on demand also gives you ratings. So every time you go to on demand, and we can go on demand and get our own show, keep watching it. That always is count as one person.
Right.
People don't understand. Every time you watch something on demand, it counts as a rating. Because you actually saw it, like it counts as a person.
Right.
So spam that button.
Exactly. Just like your show. Hit your podcast and then rewatch it over and over.
Like
you still get that.
Baby. Like and share.
Yeah, like and share and keep watching it. If you've missed it, we'll watch it again.
Yep. Comment, like, and share, man. That's
comment, like, and share. That's the gospel. The gospel podcast and entertainment.
Right. Yep.
That was good. I don't know if I could have waited like some of these guys, Bennett and Reggie and these guys, not knowing when seeing the episode starting to air and not knowing when yours is going to be on. That kind of sucks.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. And I've been looking and searching, for the episode. I missed it and I couldn't find it. And I was going to do, like I said, I'm going to join. I could only get to season 6, and it's like, man, this is like, a blockbuster. They really watch, people trying to, I guess.
You might actually have to turn around and get cable now.
Lisa, you're right. They don't do that no more.
Yeah.
But that's a marketing pool, Lisa. They're trying to make sure they get people to watch, the Master Distiller, because I know the rating's not as high as Moonshiners, I'm sure. That's just what it is. It's a part of being, around longer than one. So, I get that.
I enjoy both equally as much.
Yeah. And it's the fun of the story and the fun of the creating. Those are 2 different things. The stories of creating, the backstories, and all the fun of the chaos and the craziness that all these little stories they create now.
Just say drama. Just go ahead and use
drama. It's soap opera now. then you go to where you have people that you never seen, or you might be similar like. Right. And you're like, oh, that's me, and they doing that thing, and it inspires you to go out and try to do the same thing.
That's right. It normalizes it.
It normalizes, exactly. Because it is what it is. We are normal people, thank God. Right. We're not AI. As far as I know. We're not all normal, but at least I'm not AI. Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I hope the break's not too long.
I know, right? Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Stop a bit over there a little bit.
You might have to break down and get cable.
I know, right?
Yeah,
right.
Steel turns.
All
all my mashes, yeah.
All my mashes. Hey, that reminds me, Jeremy, I retired my stick.
Did you?
Oh, you
Yeah, I
done it?
retired my stick.
What?
I got an electric mixer. I
Oh
retired.
hell no! Did you not
You know,
go that route?
Think about
Yeah,
that.
I did it. I done did do it.
He done did do it. God dog at you.
I had the same mash stick that from when I went to 5 gallon of mash on. I used it for every single mash I ever did, except for one blueberry that I came home with from North Carolina. I came home with a couple of cases, and I just didn't want to stain it for whatever reason. And then right after that, I realized, now it's just a stick. So I went out and I bought an electric mixer.
Yeah,
I like that, man.
Drill in the mud
You still got to use it for just some sentimental value when you rolling. You thinking, you like, this is gonna be nice.
Well,
as long as it's used, it's probably a yeast log by now.
I've been using it on my experimental batches. Hope to bring some of that love in.
I got 2 electric mixers, so I already knew that was what you was gonna do eventually. But it's like, and I got 2 sticks, one Louisiana stick for crawfish, and one of the moonshine sticks I bought. So it's like I was able to get 2, because the crawfish one is not as long as the moonshine one. Because the handle on the end, and you need that. I realize you do need that. That little T, yeah, man. When it gets thick, all grain, woo.
I'm gonna save up my pennies and see if I can't find a nice 55 gallon stainless barrel, and I give me a brand new trolling motor. There's my mix.
Oh, there you go. Mash on the floor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Trolling motor.
Man,
Buddy of mine used a trolling motor. Works great.
Yep.
Come here. Come.
I can do that.
Come here. Come on. Come say hi. Come on. Over here. Oh, she wants to get on camera.
Come on.
They're up there.
Come on.
She's gonna photobomb you.
Do you want
Photo
to
bombing.
Santa.
I got my little pet over here.
Do what?
Come here.
She just had her surgery yesterday, so she's not as rambunctious as she normally is.
So since Jeremy, what is the next step now? I got that email from a couple of people and texts like it's for me it's different than obviously you and everybody else, but I'm curious now. What's the next step, man?
So here's looking to pitch to a few distilleries in the area to try to get a limited run of my City Shine out there.
That could definitely. For me, it's a little different. The way I looked at it, I told my wife this too. I said, at the end of the day, I had a blast doing it.
Yes.
And nothing else comes having fun doing it, then but if it gets a few more people through the door, sell a few bottles, that's all I can really hope for. If something else comes from it, then great,
Right.
Like, I tried. Bennett and all those guys are the guys that got me back on TikTok, and then they shut it down. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't do that anymore.
Oh, really? Wow.
Tiga, what's your future looking like? You got any plans?
Yeah. Well, I'm into the movie and music, so I'm going to go that route. Like I had to take care of the estate, so I'm finishing with that. Once I get that done, a mission before this last year was the film. I had a couple of 15-minute shorts. I have a lot of music I produced. I was going to mix it with that, and I'm doing a compilation jazz album. But I had to put a pause because I told you what happened with my mom and my dad. So last year, and so the part of that was to put what I was making and put my brand in it. So I talked to Jeremy. We talked, and then I talked to some people out here is to create my own brands. And so we're going to go forward. I got to finish the business. I created my corp. I created my business. I got things moving. Everything looks good. I'm also using my company to help people who lost their homes out here in the fire. So I'm going to use some of that to create some avenues for those, and especially in the Altadena area. And so I'm utilize that part. And my point is to rebuild for them. They got enough donations and stuff like that. The other part is we're going to be the next 5 years. So that's where we're trying to, we're utilizing my educated brain for. And then within that, I'm going to work on my RTDs, We got a couple RTDs, and then I have maybe 1 or 2, whiskey. And Jeremy, we talked about it, and so I would love to team up with Jeremy, and so it's going to look beautiful. And as I do in the films, the YouTube, whatever I'm putting on Tubi, YouTube, or goes on the big screen, I'm marketing all my stuff, merching through the avenue of what I produce, music and films, and I'll merch anybody else stuff who wants to merch it, because I don't mind sharing.
Right.
And I don't mind creating the idea of sharing and building other people's brands, because it's a family affair. It's fun. I don't mind competition at all. I never did. And it's not just that, because I enjoy just doing what I do. I'm already paid in a sense. So if I can do what I do every day and enjoy it and still get paid for doing it, then I'm living the life. At 53,
man. It's not working.
53.
Oh, hell yeah.
I worked 18 jobs from 14 up to now. 18 jobs. I had jobs before it was legal to have jobs, right? I was cutting lawns at 12, and I was the first one of the first young black men out here cutting lawns out here at sixth grade and 7th grade. And I was buying my own candy. People was like, how you get your own candy, and how you get your own clothes and stuff, and go to arcade out here. How you got the money? I was balling because I had my own company.
Yeah.
I was only making $20-something every other week, but hey, $20 in 1982 or 3, it was that was something to deal with.
Yeah, that's 20 more than your friends had. And
exactly,
I was
taking that.
Over here, my stepdad is the son of a millionaire. He raised me. If you want something, you're gonna go out and work and earn it.
Exactly.
At 14 years old, I'm doing stone area and roofing houses all through the summer.
Man.
I mean,
yeah.
18 years old, I had my own car. I bought for myself.
Same here. So
wholeheartedly, I mean, I believe if you want something in life, you need to go out and work for it. I mean, why should it be given to you? That's the way it raised my.
Exactly.
I can buy it for you, but you get more satisfaction earning it, the money yourself and buying it.
And you appreciate it more.
That's right.
And they appreciate money, the value of money, and they know how hard it is to earn.
A true hustler, I believe, sacrifice and works hard, because you can hustle and take from somebody and get it easy, and down the road you're gonna pay for it. But if you sacrifice, and that means you have to pull back some of the things you like to do and things you want to do, where you want to go, who you want to be with, but you got to work hard. Those two combinations, and also being consistent in the middle. Being consistent with all that, you're gonna get ahead of a lot of people. And a lot of people are going to push at you. They're going to get you down. They're going to get mad at you because you're doing something they don't want you to do, because you're moving faster than them.
Oh, for sure.
So, that's the goal of being successful, is to, manage yourself in a way that is different from others, because they're not you. And don't mistake your friends as being a part of you. They're friends, but they're not you. You have to live your race, your life, and live your race. I said run your race. You got to live your race, because you have kids, family, and that goes a certain route, and your friends go a different route, and you come together sometimes to hang out is great, but you got to get back to that race. So
for real. I mean, like I said, if I would have been raised the way I would, if I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Right.
That's a drink buzzer. All right, dude.
Hey. And that goes to everybody who's trying to live their life and run their race their way, and just do your thing, and don't listen to people say you can't do it. Just do it, man, and learn from your mistakes and be better.
Guys,
this for you, Jeremy. Hold on, Jeremy. This for you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I do have to. I got to get back to that. The wife's been blowing my text up here.
Come on, winner.
Yeah, guys, I gotta travel myself. I got a lot going on right now.
All right, Jeremy, it's good having you on.
All right, guys.
Win.
Bad Santa, Uncle John, Jeremy, Tiga, guys.
Yes.
Keep on doing what you do,
again, man.
JC,
look forward to seeing and hear more from you. And let me know when you get on Facebook now. Send me that friend request.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I can keep up with you.
Yeah,
you got to call me to get to Jeremy.
I'll open up a Facebook. We'll see.
I'll be consistent on Facebook. That's
right.
All right, guys.
Love you guys.
Keep on shining.
All right, brother.
Keep on shining. Shine on.
Cheers. One question, Benny. What's
you left?
Yeah, we're still on.
Well, what was the question? Maybe I can't answer.
I was gonna ask him what his plans are anything's changed.
Oh,
we know.
That's a good question. He's gonna be independent
Jeremy,
all the way.
Yeah, he's.
No, Vinny, I wanted to ask that
Vinny,
one.
yeah.
Vinny, yeah. Vinny's gonna be independent for he loves to be dirty hands, getting the feel, and he inspires me to make sure I don't lose that. And then Jeremy inspires me to reach for that.
Right.
So that's why we work together as three, because we're all three different levels, I think, and we're all on the level that we like to be at. It's okay. Right. Yeah, I appreciate all those levels. Yeah,
a lot of people don't realize, it's one thing to, be able to be a good distiller and master the craft, but when it comes to business and getting a jar, it's a totally different story. I mean, as far as marketing, I mean, you can make the best liquor out there, and if it's not marketed properly, it's going nowhere.
If nobody can find it, how are you going to make money? If I can't find where your jar is at and how can I get to it, or I can taste it, that kills the whole process. Because one thing that I learned through this whole thing, I decided early on before I got to the show, was understanding the business. Because I want to run my own distillery, or at least have my own brand. Because I know branding is everything for the past 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. And I've been there before that. I understand the branding thing. There's nothing new to me. It's just how they say it. But what I do understand is I found out a lot of distilleries run the same. Like the one distillery may run 5 different bottles, you guys know.
Right.
And I found out there's actually several distilleries that did it. I actually got a list sent to me by somebody that showed me all the distilleries that run the same bottles. And you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And Buffalo Trace, Jack Daniels, all those companies, they have actually other companies that have different. They're totally the opposite. Costco, first of all, if you have a Costco out there, they actually a lot of some of those
MGP. A lot of them.
MGP is a great source of barrels that they store to sell, and there's a few of those I found out that have barrels sitting up aging from 2 to I think it was 6 or 10, maybe more, 12. And they're priced based on barrels. And if you want it, you can buy barrel, and you can mix them as well.
It's good stuff.
So you can master distill yourself, or you want to cut all the. You just want to brand yourself, and you just buy a barrel. But you also have to have. There's companies out there that actually set you up as a company, so you can buy those barrels and have them stored somewhere. Because it's all if you want to go legal. So there's so many levels to it.
What's going on, Jeremy? You getting here late, brother?
I'd like
Jerry's back.
I'd like to put a jar on the shelf, but I'm in no big rush,
Right.
Funding, I ain't got the funding for it to start with, but it just
a good nice place.
One run, just one limited run of Uncle Drunko's.
And you can do that. You can do that. They do contract distillery.
Yeah.
There's some companies that have a minimum amount. There's some companies who have a limited amounts, and there's some companies where they will set your whole individual separate company barrels, staging, marketing up, which is like 1, 2, 3. So you have the 1, 2, 3 level higher, right?
Right.
And so what I've learned, like I said, I did a whole year. While I was taking care of my parents in 2020, I was educating myself as I was making stuff. So I had to, because I had time on my hands. I had to leave work sometimes. I had to sit here and be with them, do things, that you do when you care for your parents as you get old.
I did the same thing.
Right. So in that time frame, I said, I don't want to waste my time because they don't need me now. So I'm sitting here to make sure they're okay. So I was on the internet typing and calling people information. And I'm a businessman. I created my business a long time, which was entertainment. Tiger Entertainment, I created back in '96. And I do music. I produce music and publish music. I've been publishing music, producing for a long time. I do all kind of music, believe it or not. And I did.
What do you think about all this new AI music that's coming out? It's really,
I don't like it, but
I don't either.
The problem with that, and I'll segue real quick. The problem with that is you don't get the true creative. See, I play a lot
from
of
the heart.
instruments.
It's just words,
right? And you're just it's just like marketing and anything is being a brand. You're branding something without really being a true creator.
Right.
So I got a brand idea. I got a T-shirt or whatever. I'm just gonna do this. It's gonna make people crazy because I got this crazy name, and then I go YouTube and do all this crazy stuff. Yeah, but you're not being authentic to the craft, and that that hurts on people who actually work hard, having a skill and did, was really doing their thing to be better every year from their either young or mid-age, wherever they are. And you're young or mid-age, doesn't matter where you're at. You just say, I'm just gonna push this button, and there I got a song.
Yeah.
And that's not cool. Yeah, I don't like it per se, but I'm not gonna be mad at it because
I'm not gonna knock
that
them for
doesn't.
doing it. But
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
not gonna.
it's
That's
just
not.
not
Yeah,
from the heart. It's not.
It's definitely different than the 80s ever were.
right.
I mean,
It's all different from the 80s and
I grew up,
70s, especially the
growing up
70s,
in the
man.
80s,
Oh my God,
growing up
I love
in
the
the
70s.
80s,
Yeah, I did too. I had a good
I'm
time.
the 70s kid, man. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
did too.
I'm aware I like bands, so I don't know how to play a lot of instruments. I know how to understand them. So when I make music, I learn how to play it where I can play it and I can give it to somebody and say, yeah, I could do that same thing live. So I create a song that's going to sound like a live song through the way I make it. And I can give it to one of my main producer who's a trained musician.
Right.
I'm trained by ear,
Now, one
you
thing
know.
I'll know is I don't mind the people that make their own words and then get a little AI music to go along with their words.
Yeah, that's a whole
That
nother thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me as much as just the complete AI words,
Yeah,
music, everything,
yeah.
instruments and everything. You input 4 or 5 words and it gives you a
And then
complete song.
yeah.
Yeah, guitar and everything. No.
And then also they're gonna actually take AI that can sing for you probably. So
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
that.
With
They already
auto
do,
tune.
the
Auto-tune.
auto tunes already helped you, but now imagine them take your voice
Yeah.
and
Siri's
you
gonna start singing.
can't sing. Yeah, you can't sing really. You off key a lot. They'll correct that and copy your voice and make it into an AI. They're
Yeah.
doing that, man. It's stupid, but
Yeah.
I
So
say
Siri's gonna
create.
get a Grammy next year, right?
Yeah, Siri might get a Grammy. You might be right. But I say this: you create kind of music that inspire that just clicks to people. That sound. It's a certain sound and tone that I know, and I've been doing it for years. That clicks, no matter what race you are, where you're from, but it clicks. That's the goal, and they can't do that. Only you can do that through experience and being around people and living life to where you went through a lot. That clicks to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When you've
good
been
luck with
down, you've been
AI
divorced, you've been
blues, you know. You're
yeah,
not gonna be
AI
AI
blues. I
blues.
know, right? There it is, AI blues.
There's no
Oh
soul, you
shit!
know.
I mean, I
If
could
they get AI blues, I'll be mad about that.
Can you imagine? Okay, like back in the 80s, I'd stand in line for, let's say, Van Halen tickets.
Oh my God!
Through a rainstorm the night, all night. Waiting, got my ticket in the morning, and then can you imagine doing that instead, going to see an AI performance?
And that'd be
Yeah,
fucking crush.
yeah, it's stupid.
And Eddie Van Halen was my dog. I love Eddie Van Halen, man. That
Yeah,
guitar, man.
I was out there in
Woo! And
California
his
in
brother.
'83 for the
Yeah.
US Festival. You remember that?
Oh my God. That was,
I was there for that. Yeah.
I've seen
yeah, man.
I've seen probably every hair band imaginable. I grew up outside Detroit, so I mean,
The hair bands, Rat.
all the hair bands I've seen. I mean,
Oh my
it
God.
was
That was
crazy.
80s shit though, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They had some hell of a hair, man. Let me tell you
What's really
something.
funny is I was going to concerts when my
Right.
wife was born.
Damn.
Yeah.
We were talking about that the other day. She goes,
That's a bad thing, but it's a good thing in the long run.
yeah, we were talking about back in the day. I said, you don't even remember back in the day.
She don't even know what the
Hold
hell
on,
was going
Kenny.
on.
Back in the day,
Hey, Kenny.
you weren't even bottle
She wasn't
fed.
even-
You're a
So
bottle
what? Wait. So
I'm
what's
going to
her?
concerts and I'm drinking.
What's
and
her
partying.
start?
Huh?
What was her start song? Like you could say the farthest you can go back. Did you ever ask her like, what's the farthest song that you can go back to? You really like you remember that's your time. Would that be 90s or?
I remember 70s music growing up.
Me too, but like
I mean,
that's the connection. Like I had to when I dated somebody younger, I had to kind of connect to them because we all grew through all the ages,
Yeah.
right? And we may not like everything as we got older, but it was like, oh yeah, I remember that song. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Hers is Prince, it's
Oh, okay. I'm a Prince guy,
it
so I
relates
get
to
it.
Prince. That's as far back as she really relates.
Oh, okay.
I went to see Prince at the drive-in, and you don't want to know what I was doing there.
Oh yeah, we know what we do at the drive-in back in the day. Yeah, I still miss those days.
2.5 or 3 pounds.
These were these.
He said when making what Colton Sharp said. Colton Sharp said.
He's gonna know how many pounds per gallon. If it's just all corn, I'd go 3. But if you got like a lot of rye or oats and gummy stuff, it's gonna maybe 2.5. But
I'll do that.
Use your hydrometer after you do your conversions. You know, if you're doing a conversion, you know, you'll have to, you know, check your gravity afterwards and see what kind of conversion you got, and, you know, kind of work from there.
I go 3 pounds per gallon for all my corns.
Yeah.
Grain, when I mix grain, I'll cut back on my corn and add, you know, whatever, however much grain, or how many different grains.
And then there is I was studying that fact of when I was going there, because I knew they worked with 30-gallon blue things, and then the 20 gallons, whatever. So they always work more, like they always work more than what you're going to put in, because that's how it is, right? But I know I have a calculator here, and I'll look at it so I can find it for who I was asking. But it's a calculator to tell you how much grains based on weight, water distribution you should add, so you can get a certain amount of liquid afterwards.
Right.
So your container is important. So if you work in a 20, you want a 30-gallon basically, right? But if you ain't got a 30-gallon, you get 2 15s.
Right.
You run 2 15s.
Yep.
Right. You run
Gives
2
you plenty of head space for your cap and everything else.
And then 2 15s should give you 2 10 gallons of water.
Right.
That's what you want to go for.
Right.
That's if you use amount of grains in each one equally, and sugar, because you got to add like what is it? Well, it depends how you want to do it. But if you run a lot of grains, less sugar. But if you want to do 50-50, I'll say 15 pounds of sugar, 20 pounds of sugar per 15 gallons. Then you run your grains, so you get that weight that's going to elevate the water from 10 gallons to 5 gallons. So that 5-gallon space is going to be filled with solids, basically.
Right.
You know, so you're looking at
you got the
20,
displacement, you know, so it's increased volume.
So it's like 20 pounds, so 40 pounds of grains roughly to a 20-gallon tank, 2 to 1, basically. But you can substitute 5 of that and put more sugar in it, 15 or 10 or whatever you want to use sugar, or 20 on sugar, and 15 on grains.
Do you prefer to invert your sugar, or do you prefer to dump it in whole? You know,
I heard about it. I haven't done inverting yet. I mean, I've done inverting in small batches, but in bigger batches, it's just I guess I do the sugar first. I get the sugar to macerate and become a sugar water first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I do that, and then I pour in the grains. I've done 2 ways. I've done it where I cook the grains and then dumped it and strained it, or I cooked the water with the sugar and dumped the sugar with the grains sitting there waiting to go, and had a little mixing machine going as I'm pumping it. So it can get in there, and I ain't gonna lie, I cheat a little bit. I do my almalaise, and I do all that shit. Make sure it breaks down. And plus, I always bought malted shit. I don't buy nothing that's not malted, honestly. Yeah, man, I do. Yeah. I got all of them here, but I do that because I want to convert it strong and fast, and I'm looking for 5 days or less.
Have you ever used dextrose?
Dextrose? No, I thought about it though.
I
thought about using
stuff to cheat with.
Interesting.
It doesn't take much. It dissolves really quickly.
I thought about using that with corn. Just use it with the corn.
It works great.
Like corn on corn, like this, like okay.
It works great. Yeah,
dextrose sugar. It's pricey, but it works.
It's pricey.
Well, actually, I've seen some places it's almost as cheap as sugar in a lot of places. I was talking to a guy the other day.
I'm not sure it'd be okay for me promoting things I've been through, but I know Georgia Steel is pretty good with that. They're pretty good with their prices on dextrose. I mean, probably I know there's other places I found out pretty good with that too. So y'all need to get sponsored by these guys.
Restaurant, somebody that really has great deals. I can't think of. Let me find the name. It was Restaurant something, and they're online. And there's a lot of stores. Restaurant Depot. And they have a really good deal on dextrose, man.
You do. I remember that. I do. I went there. You actually you're right about that. That's what I did find out. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. That's before I left. I was looking for the sugar for the show because I thought we had to bring it, and that was one of the places I found out that they did have that. And
they got good prices on dextrose. That was
So they had that cane sugar dry. You know, once you break it down and liquid, they dry it out, And it was the same stuff that we was going to use, but it was
the yeast. That's what I was going to say. The yeast love this glucose as much as that cane sugar because it's a monosaccharide, man, and they just they love that shit, man. They'll eat that shit up. Yeah, they do.
But, so that was part of my research when I realized I needed to find a yeast that can handle that, and there's a couple of yeasts I figured out that can work that out. I might share that later because it's not. It's a known
pure
yeast.
Glucose, you know. It's just pure glucose.
It's a known yeast I use that is very hard to find. I found out, and only way I could find because it's sold out everywhere. Right. So when I ordered, I had to go to, like I said, I had to go to Puerto Rico. This guy had a small shop in Puerto Rico, and this, he was telling me, they just got this shop back up after their hurricane thing. I said, I appreciate you, man. Can I get it? So he texted me back. He said, I'll ship it to you. I said, man, I need it. So he shipped me a little brick, 5 500 grams.
Awesome.
And I said, because you couldn't find it at everybody everywhere. I'm talking about everywhere it's sold out. Apparently, this is the hottest yeast to use for that. Not just that, for a lot of other things. Almost like that. It was an EC 1114.
EC 11. 1114.
It's similar to that style of just be able to drop it and go.
Right. Yeah. That Alvin, they make an EC 1118 and a 14 and 7. They
14.
They make some really good, decent.
What's that one?
Have you tried the yellow label Angel yeast yet?
No, but I tried the obviously the champagne one. But I usually use the champagne if I want to make my whiskey bubble. I like to play around with it.
Now, if you ever do any rye stuff, I noticed that on the show they were using, what's it called? Is it Kobe? What's that goby, or what was that fungus that they were using on that?
Fungus.
The fungus that they were using on the rice to make that
the
Landrys were using it.
Landry's. But was that the koji for the rice?
Koji, yeah. Koji
I got that. I actually got some of that. Yeah, I got some of that.
Well, I don't know if this yellow label Angel yeast has it, but supposedly
they're the ones who
can use this stuff, and you don't even have to gelatinize your grains and cook them down.
Hold on, I'm gonna
do all that.
Give me a second, guys.
I got some. I'm going to try it.
Hey,
let's see. You can hear the noise going on here.
I found some. It was on sale. They had a clearance on, not clearance, but it's on sale on Amazon for 25 cents for a 500 gram bag. So I had to jump on that. That's pretty good.
And be careful when you buy, find the dates in this because they can be sitting around.
Yeah, I know.
They don't.
Those hot warehouses.
May not take care of it. Yeah. They may not take care of the crap. But I'm gonna show you two things, guys, since I'm still on air, and I don't mind because I'm in California and I got time.
Yeah.
What am I looking for? Okay, I gotta keep this door open. So I'm gonna show you a couple of things. So bring it back. So this is the yeast that I was able to take back home that I used, and it actually survived, even though they put the table because that was my name. I think she spelled it right. That was A. I think that was supposed to be A. So this is the yeast I used for the show.
Awesome. Now that's what you got from Puerto Rico?
No, that's what I used for the show. I mixed that.
They gave you that. Oh, you took it for
because I could take the whole thing.
Right.
This is what I got from Puerto Rico. Everybody want to know the secret for that C70
SAF. Now is that the same thing as the SAF that we get here?
Yep, same company, but this is a special thing, man. Look it up. You'll see what it's about.
Yeah, SAF makes a good yeast,
and it's rare. You can't find it. I'm telling you. So
I think Tractor Supply has it.
They may have it, but I've tried everybody.
Not what you got there, but the SAF yeast makes it.
Oh well, SAF Spirit. There's a company called SAF Spirit. That's the company, and look up SAF Spirit and look for it. And they have several different yeasts. I actually have a whole bunch, but this one particularly is based for this kind of rum and very volatile.
Right. Yeah. The SAF yeast is like SAF Instant. They've got like a red and a gold. Yeah.
Right. I gave you a little bit of secrets. Stuff. Don't hate me for that, but I don't mind sharing.
Oh, I
don't mind competition. I don't mind competition. Let me see what I'm putting this one here. And as you can listen, I'm in my yeast distillery. Distill Max is a good company too. I mean, not Distill Max, but Lavamade Biofuels.
Have
You guys heard of them?
Have you discovered Firm Solutions yet?
Yo, I know Firm Solutions. I actually got. Okay, since you know me, you tell how this will tell you who I am. So
yeah, I got a bunch of different ones too.
Look at this. So I've been knowing Firm Solutions for a little bit now.
All right, here we go. All right,
yeah. Pro 33. I got 3 of them different bottles, man. These guys are one of the greatest companies I found. That God, dog. Okay,
they're
you
right
do your
here in
research.
Kentucky. They're about 15
That's what I'm
minutes.
saying. They're right there, man. Firm Solution. Thank you guys. You guys are great.
They are.
That's
I'm trying to think of the guy's name that runs it, man. He's a brilliant man. They have a lab there.
They have a
They
have a lab.
they do lab work, genetic sequencing to figure out.
And that's what I like about it. That's what I'm into. Like to find out
man,
what I can create my own yeast, my own signature yeast. And they got some good brew yeast.
They've got thousands of yeast in the little. They've got, I guess, a refrigerator full of thousands of yeast that they've isolated from all over the world. And I mean, there's beer breweries, vineyards, distilleries that utilize their laboratory for anytime they got like an infection in their vats. They send the stuff to this laboratory. Yeah, they genetically sequence it and find out exactly what they got and how to inoculate it and all this stuff. They're very sophisticated, and they've also got a top 10. They also run Wilderness Trail Distillery, and that's one of the that's a top 10 bourbon producer in the world.
Wilderness, that's them. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I did my due diligence studying them, and they're really great, man. And by the way, there's another company that does the same thing, White Labs. Okay. White Labs actually is a good company that actually does the same thing not just White Labs, but what is it? Not White Labs, I'm sorry. This company here, I'm not sure I'm saying it right. I want to give them justice, but I don't know if we're promoting that, but it is what it is. Lalomade Biofuel.
Oh, Distill Max. Oh, Lalomade. Yeah, I've heard of them.
They actually, if you go on their site, first of all, they break everything down, and then you can send your own yeast. They'll send you little cultures to put your yeast to help you break it down and, make it for you.
Right.
Whatever you think you got. And I think they're Canadian, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It says Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So there it is.
Cool. So I guess they help a lot of the brewers up there.
Yeah.
There's a few breweries there in Milwaukee. Yeah.
There's quite a few. Yeah. That's where it came from, right?
Yes, sir.
Pabst, Schlitz,
old Milwaukee, Schlitz,
old Milwaukee,
PBR. There's a lot of them come from there.
Oh, Schlitz.
Schlitz. I checked the story. I watched the story about Schlitz and Pabst.
Didn't you say that your dad or somebody worked for Schlitz or?
No.
Somebody maybe. Was it Vinny's dad that worked for Schlitz? Somebody.
It could be.
Somebody that we were talking to recently, said that their dad worked. Maybe it was Vinny.
Could be. My stepdad drove a beer truck for Schlitz, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, yeah.
Because I remember him saying Schlitz, man, because that's what we used to get at the bootleggers, man. I drank a lot of Schlitz as a 13-year-old.
That's a classic beer, man. Pabst and Schlitz.
That was good stuff. It was a good full body beer.
It was definitely a full body beer, and so I love history of all that. I watch the shows where they go through those little histories of how it was made and that kind of stuff, and you start learning like where they first came from or where they came from, and Germany or Irish or whatever, and they brought it over here, and it was beautiful because some of my descendants are from Ireland and some of my descendants are from Germany. Believe it or not.
That's why that's one of the main reasons we have this show is so all the contestants get a chance to talk about their past and history and not just about the show and all that. That's all done in an hour, man. We're talking, give everybody an opportunity to talk about their life and
right, and hopefully gets people to feel comfortable to go out there and not be afraid of meeting and enjoying the life that you like to live for one, and also what you do, like moonshining and making. Just think about it. You can make your own alcohol, just like you make your own dinner. You can grow your own plants and grow your own cow or whatever and kill it. You can do anything you want and make it your own stuff and be your own thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I love.
I like about that. I love about
DIY.
that. That makes, but they said that makes what America great about.
Yeah.
The point is that you can do your own thing if you really want to, and hopefully won't be disturbed by nobody but doing it. But just let me do my thing. Just let me do my thing.
I think it should be legal. I think I think
I
people
think
should
it
be
should
able
be.
to do so much a year.
Yeah.
You know, I understand it's a tax issue. So
yeah,
you know, less than
give us
X
a
amount of,
license.
I guess less
Give
than
us a
so
license,
many
a
gallons
permit.
a year. Yeah, less
Yeah,
than so many
you
gallons
know.
a year. You're not out much taxes
And
if I
it's
do 100
just
gallons
like
a year.
just like the marijuana thing. You can make a lot more money in each state if you legalize something they're gonna do anyway.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, the competition they worry about, I think, is that the major companies think it's competition. Not necessarily. There's still people gonna buy brands because they're used to it, they like it. You know, what Popcorn say?
Said it best when he said, "I pay taxes on the copper, I pay taxes on my corn, I pay taxes on my sugar. I'm not stealing from nobody. I'm paying taxes on all this." You know, I mean, and he's right.
Well, you know, at the same time,
and you pay
you know,
taxes, and you pay your property taxes that pays the police, the fire department, the schools. So every time I pay my property taxes, I'm a homeowner, I'm a landowner. I look at my property tax. I look at, schools get this. A law, you know, when it says utilities, it says land, it says I'm paying for them, and they know that because as a landowner, you're paying for the security and the upkeep of your safety of your land. So if I'm doing that and I'm not going to do anything wrong and I'm a abiding citizen, give me my permit to do my thing.
Right.
You're
I
welcome,
agree.
Colton.
I totally agree. That's what I was about to say. It's definitely part of my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Pursuit of happiness, man. Come on.
And that's, you know, it's a shame that, you know, and like I say, you know, if it's like 50, 100 gallons, you know, they're not making that much tax on 100 gallons of liquor. You know, it's
you ain't
not
trying
going
to
break
sell.
them up.
You ain't got to try. You're not going to sell. If you made 100 gallons, how much you going to really sell?
And I mean, look at what we're seeing right now. All the waste that they do. You know, we're seeing all this.
Oh my God!
You know, this DOGE coming in there and showing all the waste. I mean, just in the news today.
It's been waste for years, man. It's been waste for years.
It's crazy amounts. You know, but yet they want to dime and nickel us because you're not paying your tax on that 100 gallons of liquor you made last year. Okay, so that boils down to what, $10? Give me a break. You know.
Right.
Here's your $10. Shut up. Go away. Damn.
Right.
You know, just sell me a license, give me X amount, let me do some X amount, and
you got fishing license, you got hunting license, you got driver's license, you got license for doing a lot of things and being a minor as well. You got estate, you got all kind of stuff. So
that's just another tax, really, licensing and all these things.
If you think about it, you're actually giving them more money.
Yeah.
If you think about it, but they don't see it that way. They think there's a lot of point of being in control of what they feel is that maybe, I don't know what it is, either that it's going to be uncontrollable or that it's going to be filtering some of their pockets where they might be getting some people giving money. I don't know. But that's interesting. Shots. I'm sorry. Colton Sharp started. Here we go. It's not a shot, but it's a drink. Shot. He got to go down Coke. It is about your time, huh? So 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock?
It's
10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's past Roger's bedtime.
It's past everybody's bedtime. Shit.
I mean, I go till the next day. You know, I sleep. I have odd hours, man. I can go like 24, 36 hours and then try to get a little rest. It's just I've never have normal hours.
Like normal hours.
Yeah, on a serious note, I am gonna jump out. It's fucking cold.
All right, brother.
Wife got me sick again. I just got over a fucking cold.
Yeah.
All right, man. You got to get into some herbs, man. I know you don't want to, but I ain't gonna lie, them herbs fucking work.
Yeah.
Ginseng, all that shit, man. That shit is, I mean,
this shit
I would say something personal with you, but I'm not gonna say because I don't know how many people watch it. But I as a man, as an older man, you have prostate issues, you have a lot of these things, right? Make thistles for your liver if you drink a lot. It helps cleanse the liver. It keeps you from cirrhosis. And then you have raw palamoto or palamate. It's RAWPA something. That's for your prostate. That actually keeps that shit from growing. That whatever that's in there that does it, I don't know why, whatever. And then you have other herbs that detox you. bladderwrack, burdock, dandelion, all that actually detox your liver, your body, because we do a lot of shit that we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, now you're talking Lisa Day. That's Lisa's our resident expert on all the herbs,
yeah, I need to talk.
all
Yeah,
that stuff. Yeah,
hey Lisa, yeah.
She's
she
very knowledgeable on all these.
Oh man, I
remedies.
do tinctures. I do, and I realized I was doing a lot of experiments. I was drinking, I was doing a lot, and I'll do that. And like, I woke up, I did that in the morning, and then I do water. I do a hydration. I do watermelon, a cucumber, and I blend it up with some blueberries and some coconut milk. No sugar. I don't fuck with sugar, believe it or not.
Yeah,
just because I'm overweight. I don't want to get the diabetes. I'm like, I don't want to do all that shit. Yeah, and believe it or not, you will. I stopped eating sugar for 30 days. It was not easy. I had no sugar. I didn't put no sugar in anything. After the
all
30
those
days,
candidas are trying to get you to eat it.
It's
man.
tough, but the taste buds changed. I was able to taste shit differently, and after that, no sugar in coffee, no sugar in tea, and I was okay with it. I was actually tasting
I was telling
stuff.
Roger,
I'm telling you,
soft
Uncle Drunkly is actually true. You can do it, and you can still do this when you want to sometimes because that's sugar.
Well, I've been tired all the time for a long time, and I finally had my A1C tested, and it turned out I'm diabetic now.
Okay.
So I gotta go see the
doctor.
Get that
raw Palamato or whatever they call that. I think it's raw Palamato. Take that. That brings. It took my. I'm at a low. I ain't gonna lie. I get mad at being 0.0 something.
Is it
like
palmetto.
Palmetto. Yeah. She get it. There. She
tree.
got it. Thank you guys, because I'm not getting. My wording's bad. But
sure.
peppers. That's true because that's calcium.
Big on peppers. I mean,
yeah.
Anything hot I like, but
I see you, Lisa. Yeah, man. It's like a balance. You got a good and bad. So you gotta put some more good into your bad, and eat better, and stay off. Just live long and enjoy it.
My wife took away my soda. Says you got the diabetes. You don't get no more soda.
Well,
I was telling you before. You get rid of the canned soda. You drink water.
You gotta get rid
of
that shit, man.
And then once you drink like the zero, like Coke Cherry Zero.
I do zero. It's not really good for you either for the brain because what that other sugar is, but it is a good way to get off of it. But if you detox, if you start working on a lot of blending, herbs and just shit in your morning shakes and whatever, and plant-based, and you got to sacrifice, man. How long you want to live? You got to ask yourself, do I want to live long and be able to have fun, or do I want to say fuck it? That's the truth. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm at 53 and I'm a black man. I'm overweight. I'm at a point where I could die tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm
that's the real truth,
shoes, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want to do that.
My family doctor is into the herbal medicine. I mean, he doesn't try to push it on you, but he does talk about it. So when I go in to see him Friday, my wife even said, "You need to talk about herbal medicine. See what you can do."
Beautiful, man. Hey, you send me a text or whatever. I'll show you what the book I look at, but I'll show you a picture of what I'm doing, and it is a process. It is a process, and you can manage it where it can taste good and it can be fun and it'll be good for you, and you can actually have a good balance.
Right. Okay. All right, y'all. I appreciate it. Good.
Appreciate you, brother. Love you, man.
Great having you on here, Tiger. We're going to have to get you back
on
here soon, man.
Hit me up, man.
After the season's up, we go back to just our regular, just having a bunch of people on, different guests and stuff. And
hit me up.
We look forward to having you back on shooting shit, man. I really enjoy talking with you.
You can always have me on the militia. You told me to be a part of the militia, so I'm part of the militia. God dog it.
Awesome.
Oh, you done screwed up now. You'll never be the same.
I know I screwed up now, right?
It's great to have you
just hit me up.
brother.
I got the weekends off, or I can flow with y'all on the weekends if you want me to.
Yeah, we do a Saturday show too, so
we'll
definitely hit you up, man. 8 o'clock Saturday, 5 your time.
Okay, 5 o'clock Tiger time.
Yeah. All right, we actually do a Friday show, which we call the shit show, and it's Friday at 8.
Okay,
and it's just we talk about anything and everything. It's just crazy, We'll just bring up all kinds of shit. We'll talk about politics, everything that you shouldn't talk about, we'll talk about.
Oh yeah, right. We'll get into
crazy.
it.
It's crazy.
Podcast. Everything I don't want on this podcast is on that podcast.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, brothers, man. Thank you for me. And
we look forward to having you back on, brother. It's good meeting you, man.
All right.
Good meeting you guys, man.
Take care. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you all Saturday.
Love y'all.
And
shine on.
Take care, Tiger. Shine on, brother.
Later, man.
All right, Roger. We'll catch you later, brother.
Right. I'm going to bed.
Nah, man. Hope you feel better tomorrow.
Too.
Later.
I'll be up tomorrow, so.
All right, man. We'll see.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.